Hey everyone, and welcome to the Invisible Gamecast number 22. My name's Gabe Gerwin.
That's
Joining
where
me,
that came from.
Okay, Taylor Swift.
joining me down there is Jonah Ort
Hello.
and
Hi.
Tristan Edelman. Or wait a minute, I'm not sure who you are.
Yeah, Google Plus lower thirds
It's great,
problems.
right? It's
Yeah,
giving me like the wrong list of people too when I try to invite people, so that's why I just use the list. It gives me the list from like my personal
don't want to
Google
invite
Plus.
those fools up in
No,
here.
no, up
Mm-mm.
in here, up in here. So,
This is a musical show.
yeah, that should be
Yeah, a
the.
very eclectic range of Taylor Swift and DMX.
Do you know where I first heard that song, Jonah?
No.
Like Mike. Like Mike.
That's good. Yep.
Okay, so let's get into the news. We have a good mix. Did he just rejoin the call?
Yep.
I'm back.
Yeah, that was weird. We have an anonymous capybara is on our agenda right now, apparently.
Yeah, that's me.
So yeah,
Very anonymous.
we have a nice mix of stuff. I think this will be a. Last week ended up being a kind of ranty show, even though it was a lot of positive stuff. But this week we have some crap to talk about. So first off, this is, I mean, it's not really a big deal, but it's fascinating. I think a couple weeks ago, the SRB revealed that Batman: Arkham Knight got an M rating, which I think is crazy. You know, these games they go through testing going up to the day of launch. Sometime, obviously, sometimes they'll be patching it afterwards, and they get ratings like 3 months ahead of the game coming out. They already have like their list of what content is going to be in it. So anyway, obviously the previous 3 entries in the series, or 4 if you're counting the shitty Vita game, were rated teen. The reason why they have the SRB has rated this one M are for swear words, but what was it, gob shitter? That was one of them that apparently they said in this game.
Shitter.
Signs reading live nude girls, which I actually think that was in Arkham Origins as well. I remember seeing those and being kind of surprised.
You would remember the live nude girls signs in a video game.
I
That
didn't
kind of
notice.
guy.
I was worried for the children. And I won't go into the details, but there are a couple gruesome scenes of violence that, to be honest, don't sound any worse than something you'd see in like one of the Nolan Dark Knight movies. But I feel like it's a lot easier to get an M rating in video games than it is to get an R rating in movies.
Yeah, because I mean, Halo's rated M and like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Halo's always been kind of on the right on the edge, and like even
Yeah.
Halo War's got a teen rating.
Yeah.
Really?
Hell, they sell the Mega Bloks to kids, although they do that with Call of Duty too, and that kind of earns its rating at this point.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, Halo was my first M game.
Yeah, me
because
too.
of that.
It was the first M game I was allowed to play, and Halo 2 was the second one I was allowed to play until when Splinter Cell Chaos Theory came out. My mom, she started letting me play M-rated again. Everything but Grand Theft Auto basically was their rule until I was like
My-
maybe 15.
Mine was a pretty big plunge. I could only play the Halo games. Like that was it. It was like Halo 1, 2, yeah, 1 and 2. And one of my uncles who is like he's really funny. He used to work for Microsoft. He was like a pretty high up Microsoft employee,
Hmm.
and he bought me Gears of War because he got it for like
Oh yeah,
Super
you told me
cheap.
this.
So that was my third M game. Like Halo to fucking Gears, like chainsawing people in half. Like
Wow. So you're saying your uncle worked at Microsoft? Did you ever use that
Yes.
as a? My uncle worked at
I know,
Nintendo.
Have you played that game?
What? Gears of War? Yeah.
No, my uncle who works at Nintendo.
Is that a
No.
game?
Yeah, it's a point-and-click game. It's
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's
That's
weird.
not
Is it-
catering to a in crowd at all.
No, it's cool. It's a weird sort of
Are you trying to get people banned from the Miiverse or something? Is that what it's?
no, it's like
Old school Nintendo.
basically it's like you're you play a kid who's going over to someone's house for dinner, and the guy has like an N64, and it's basically just a vehicle for like a horror like
Oh,
adventure
really?
sort of game. Yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
pretty cool. It
Yeah,
only
okay.
takes like maybe 20 minutes to get through to the ending, but there's like a bunch of different endings.
Is it a Flash game or what?
I assume so. It's just in your browser, yeah. Just
Yeah.
Google
Yeah.
my uncle. I'll look up the website that
That's
you.
what I meant. I guess maybe not Flash. I just mean, is it a
Yeah, it's a
browser
browser game. Let me look
game?
at
Mhm.
Uncle who works at Nintendo.
But
Let me see.
but anyway, Batman.
It's on jisgames.com. Go there and the guy's
Play that, I
Michael.
guess.
Yeah, Michael Lutz is the name.
Hmm.
152 votes on it, rating 4.5 out of 5. So yeah, it's cool. Anyway, I've always kind of I guess I'm okay with this because the Arkham games, we kind of know what they are, and this seems like maybe it just kind of barely got into the M sphere. But I've never really liked it when um, stuff that's kind of been aimed at all ages has geared itself for like a more mature audience. Like even
Yeah.
that Power Rangers thing that came out, I think that's the dumbest thing in the
Yeah, that was
world.
kind of lame.
The guy who made it, his explanation was kind of he did it kind of tongue in cheek to
Mhm.
show not just specifically with Power Rangers, but just to see like what it would be like to take something that's so cheesy and meant for kids and to try to make it really gruesome. So
Which is what they're doing with kind of. I mean, not like Transformers is like a gritty reboot. Not that it's gruesome,
Yeah.
but that's what they're doing basically now.
yeah,
Yeah.
The movie industry. So
but yeah, like I mean, it's like it's ridiculous.
G.I. Joe.
It'd be like making Mr. Rogers into Liam Neeson. And
I don't know if I don't know if I'd take it that far, but sure.
have you watched Power Rangers, Tristan? Oh,
I know, but at least there's action in Power Rangers. Mr. Rogers is like, it's just like an educate. I mean, I love Mr. Rogers, but there's action in Power Rangers. I can see that at least that parallel being made. But no, I think the Arkham games have been pretty dark already.
yeah,
And
I
I
was
think
kind of
the
surprised, like some of the stuff that they got away with in
I think
Arkham.
the main difference is maybe that those games are dark thematically and how they refer to things, whereas this game takes it a little further by showing you some pretty gruesome things. You know what I mean? Like I can't remember in the Arkham games something explicitly gruesome happening, but you kind of know something like that happened. You know what I mean? So like I think
Yeah,
this is more explicitly laid out
yeah,
in
it seems like it
cutscenes
is
and what have you.
violence focused too, because like there was tons of innuendo and stuff in Arkham or in Arkham City. I remember.
Yeah, people are like,
Yeah.
this Batman doesn't kill. How could he make this so violent? So, like, obviously, the violence isn't coming from Batman. Unless,
Unless it is.
even though he does break people's necks and like just destroy people's bones.
No,
But
you just
like,
knock them out. They were sleeping.
no,
No, they're gonna be okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't think it's Batman. It's just Arkham Knight. I feel like you're just gonna see the Arkham Knight doing all this awful stuff. So,
yeah, maybe we don't know. So yeah, next I honestly was kind of surprised this wasn't actually available at launch, but maybe they saw the writing on the wall. Microsoft has announced that there's going to be a Halo: The Master Chief Collection Xbox One bundle. It's coming this month, and it's $350 plus, of course, Halo: The Master Chief Collection. So I don't. First off, I don't know if this is a digital bundle or not, or if it's
I
physical
assume
game.
it's just a code,
It'd be a
but
pain in the ass. That is such a huge game.
yeah, but I don't think
Have fun.
that information isn't anywhere yet. I don't think
Yeah.
either. So
So
um,
I mean, this is a good deal. It seems like the last patch they released apparently finally,
made stable.
yeah. I mean,
When was this?
Hmm?
When did this patch come out? Because I know that as
like
of,
within the last week.
oh, okay. Because I knew like a few weeks ago it was still
Yeah,
broken. So
I've been honestly, or obviously in my review, I shat on the multiplayer aspect of it a lot because it simply I couldn't get into matches in a lot of the best modes in the game. Um, Now, as I don't know if you call it an apology or what, they're going to be releasing um, Halo ODST remastered, which they just had some screenshots come out for that if you want to go see it. But yeah, I don't know. I'd say there's definitely some better bundles you can choose from if you want to get an Xbox One with the game. Track down a Sunset Overdrive bundle, or hell, like get the Call of Duty bundle with the terabyte hard drive if you can find one of those.
Ooh,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bundle's great if you never experience Xbox before, like I have. Like I've never played a Halo game through to completion, so this bundle actually looks like
you
my.
never orgasm at the end of your Halo games,
I
Tristan?
never finished onto a Halo, so I that would be my. This would be my bundle, I think, especially if the game's stable now. In Halo ODST, they're releasing for free to people that had it from played it from a
From the
certain
beginning,
date.
correct. You will not be getting that if you're buying it now.
But
Um,
I assume they're going to sell it separately.
Probably, maybe that'd be kind of dirty of them to do.
Well, I think they might have even said they were going to do that because
Yeah,
they put all that work into remastering it. Not
yeah.
that it's.
Well,
Oh,
they
of
fucked up
course
the
they're gonna
game.
sell it.
Yeah,
Oh, they're gonna sell it. Of course they are.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's necessarily dirty because people still want it. Even after if they got it out of
think about
that
this
period.
though, like WarioWare on 3DS.
Where's this going?
Yeah, but that's Nintendo being insane. Nintendo's fucking insane. This is Microsoft, which is slightly less insane.
I have 20 games on my. Well, actually, no. I think some of those you can buy now, but I have plenty of games on my 3DS that you can't get anywhere else. So
That's true. They do that. Yeah.
yeah, it's weird for you as someone who hasn't played the Halo games to completion. Like I played them all in order, and it was jarring to me because like obviously Halo 1 like Combat Evolved Anniversary didn't have that much work done on it for this. It's pretty much just a straight port of the 361. Halo 4 and Halo 3 pretty much look like the 360 games, and then Halo 2 looks fucking amazing. And it's really weird when that's the second game out of the 4 that you play, and then you go back to Halo
Yeah.
3. It was jarring to me.
Yeah.
But it's like if you haven't played any of them, you have to play them in order. That
You
was
don't have
definitely I wish they included Reach in that as well, but I had just a weird reconciliation with Halo 2. I hadn't played that campaign in probably a decade, or maybe not. It might have been. I played Halo 1 over and over and over again, but I'm not sure I played the Halo 2 campaign more than once. And man, it's good. I forgot how good it was. It ends really suddenly, but it's a much better campaign than I guess I gave it credit for. Halo
Halo
3's
2's
campaign was a big
good.
problem. Yeah.
You didn't like? No, I think Halo 2 is the best Halo game. I mean, I'm
Oh
just
no,
gonna say that right
I
now.
put it. I don't know. In terms of multiplayer, I'd say the argument can be made for that, but I think Halo 1 is still my favorite Halo campaign. Um, aside
Yeah.
from the library level, uh, that's the one that
The
goes on for 10 years.
Oh no, that one. That's the thing though. It's like every Halo game. I don't know about 4, but at least 1 through 3 have some levels in it that are just garbage. Like I remember 3 had Cortana or whatever. That was awful. And
Yeah,
they
that
all
really
involve
sucks.
the Flood too. Interesting. Makes you think.
No, Halo 4 doesn't have the flood though. No, Halo 4
Yeah,
doesn't
I
really
don't
have
know.
any
I
of those
don't know
levels.
4.
It's a bug. God, there's some bugs though that are straight carryovers from the 360 version that made it into this version. And I think I may have mentioned one in my review where the ground just wasn't there, and I had to restart the entire level to like if I restart my checkpoint, it still wasn't there. I had to restart this entire mission, and I was at the end of it, and it was not one of the better missions in that game.
Mm.
But no, I'd say there are some better options for you. But if you're really, really, really interested in checking out Halo, at least for the campaigns, like this isn't a bad deal. Now, Tristan, you know more about this than I do. So Don't Not Entertainment, the folks who make Life is Strange, which now has its second episode, coming out, I think March 25th, or it might be the 24th.
March at some point.
Yeah, they just announced for good, like, what it's going to be today.
Mhm.
But they've said that Remember Me Too is a possibility.
Yeah. So Don't Nod. Are they made up of like a bunch of guys from one specific company, or I think that there's a few companies. They all come from big AAA studios or whatever. But point is, the first game was Remember Me, which was supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive, and then eventually came out on 360 and PS3. And I didn't play it. It was kind of like weirdly received. Like people liked the world and the
Yeah,
story
Amy
kind
reviewed it.
of.
She wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah, but it's cool because it looked like a cool premise and stuff. but it was published by Capcom, so the guys at Don't Nod have a story together. They know what they'd want to fix with it and everything, but then they have to just basically wait for Capcom's approval. And I don't know how that game sold, so I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I don't think it sold very well. It's just weird for me. Like, I don't think Capcom's gonna want to fund something like this because there was no tailwind or anything on the sales from the first game. It just
and it took way too long to develop. I think. I mean,
and Life is Strange got I think it got a pretty positive reception when it came out.
Who is publishing Life is Strange?
Square Enix.
Square Enix. Oh.
Yeah.
But it's funny because in that same interview with what was the I want to say Silicon Era, but that might be
that's what it says here.
Oh, it is Silicon Era. Okay. He also said that they have ideas for Life is Strange Season 2, and that again is up to the publisher, in that case Square Enix. But it's like, all right, buddy, let's slow your roll a little bit. Season one is not even done yet. People were kind of like, oh, cool, to the first episode, let alone we don't know how financially viable that series would be. So I understand that he's probably just excited and creative, and he wants to make more things, but I feel like putting it out there might do more harm than good.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them get past one episode of Life is Strange before they.
Yeah, is it supposed to be 5 episodes?
I think so.
So I mean, they aren't even halfway through the season. This first season, that's like pretty experimental and weird. So maybe cool it on that talk right now.
Yeah.
So now we have a big delay that pretty much everyone should have seen coming. Uncharted 4: Thief's End is coming out in spring 2016 instead of holiday this year. So.
Well, I think they just said 2015, didn't they? Or did they say holiday or fall?
Well, it was kind of assumed it was going to be.
Right, but it was officially just given as 2015 even, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was going to happen in 2015, obviously it was going to happen in fall, but I'm just...
Yeah, that's a November release if I've ever seen one.
Right.
But obviously this game has had a lot of development turmoil, and it kind of sucks that they had to remove the people working on it and bring in Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann to make it instead of working on whatever new idea they had to have to kind of save this project.
Yeah, I guess it kind of sucks in that regard, in that those people had to go. I don't know. We still don't really know the circumstances of Amy Hennig, the writer, leaving, and
we probably never will.
Yeah, I was gonna say we probably never will, and so that sucks, obviously, but. Obviously, Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann are really talented guys, so I think the game's in good hands. But I can see that perspective as well, that they could be working on something else. But Uncharted's great, so I don't know.
I was reading a feature that Polygon did with Troy Baker, and he's talking about how he flat out said, "I will not play." Joel in the Last of Us movie, and he kind of said either way for him, he'll be fine with it, because either they pick someone who can play the character really well and translate it to film, or they'll pick someone and they won't be able to do good as job as he did, and it'll kind of vindicate video games and show that there's something. God, I really don't like the idea of making The Last of Us into a movie, and I've said this a million times. Me neither. Because that game is 18 hours long. You cannot make that 2 hours. There is no way to do that.
Well, you can do it, but how good it is still up in the air.
The fact that they're straight up just translating the story to film instead of making it something within the universe, I think is a big mistake. Plus, it's just so fucking. It's just I know, okay, she might be okay, but casting Maisie Williams, it's she's too obvious a choice, I think, to play Ellie. I
don't know. Does it really take away from your experience with the video game though?
No, not at all.
Why not? Let's see how it is. Give it a chance. What if it's good?
It won't.
Maybe.
It's gonna suck.
What?
Because there's never been a good video game movie.
You're such a negative Nancy.
Yeah, why gotta be cynical about it?
It's gonna be terrible.
Maybe, who knows?
Someone's
also ignoring the Mortal Kombat movies, because those movies were excellent.
But they were campy. They weren't trying to be a dramatic.
Yeah, Yeah.
We're trying to be the Citizen Kane of movies. Like,
The Citizen Kane of movies.
I think Citizen Kane is the Citizen Kane of movies.
exactly. And
I
nothing.
don't know about that one. That's a rough debate.
That's-
That
Visible
movie
film
earns its reputation.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, you don't need to be cynical about it. Who knows? Maybe it'll be good. Wouldn't you want it to be good? Don't you want it to be? I mean, you want everything to be good, right?
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I don't. When is that? Does that movie have a target release?
I don't think so.
I have no idea.
They haven't even said
ethereal.
for sure who's playing anyone besides Maisie Williams.
Okay. All right.
And just.
But yeah, delay. I mean, delays are like almost, are pretty much 99.9% never bad.
Yeah.
The wait that you have to endure equates to a better game. Like I don't know what could be done in that time to make the game worse unless they try to do crazy like, really fundamental changes, which at that point they're not going to be doing anyways.
I will shit on some of the actors in Game of Thrones. I will say Maisie Williams is not one of them. I think she's good, but if you look at the films that have come out in the last few years that star actors from Game of Thrones,
not very good movies.
What?
None of them are good.
Besides Peter Dinklage, none of them were good. We had Pompeii.
I was gonna say I saw Pompeii with Kit Harington. Not a good movie, but
Emilia Clarke.
It's not necessarily because of him.
Too, and Terminator Genesis looks like hot garbage.
No, Emilia Clarke's cool.
Oh my God, she did Broadway, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and she just got panned. Everyone hated her.
Well, I've never seen her in anything but Game of Thrones, so I have nothing.
No. Anyway,
I'm excited for Terminator Genesis.
I want to go back and rewatch Terminator 2. I haven't watched that movie in a really long time.
Yeah, me
neither. I've actually been thinking I might actually watch it after this podcast. I've been thinking.
Oh.
That's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, that one's good. Honestly, I am an apologist. I did not dislike Terminator 3.
I haven't seen it.
It's weird, and it's weird that they switched who plays John Connor so much. Yeah, it's who plays it. Nick Stahl plays John Connor in that movie.
I don't know who that is.
If you don't know who that is, have you seen Sin City?
No.
Yeah.
You have? He's the what's his name? He's the yellow guy in that movie.
That's racist.
I don't remember. It's been a while. I probably wouldn't remember even if you explained it.
Yeah. He's like the main bad guy at the end of that movie.
I've never seen this face in my entire life.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
He's probably not that bad, right? In Terminator 3?
No, it's not, no. That's what I'm saying. Everyone hated that movie, but I don't think it was that bad. It was kind of cheesy, like some of Schwarzenegger's lines, but
It's Terminator. Come on,
yeah, you expect some of that.
It's Schwarzenegger. Like, really? Are you expecting?
Yeah, he's not exactly Daniel Day-Lewis.
I've literally never seen a movie that this guy has been in. Never.
Nick Stahl?
Yeah, I've never seen, or a TV show. Well, I guess he was in Law & Order Special Victims Unit, so there's that. That's the only thing he's ever been in.
He went missing last year.
Really?
Yeah, he had some drug problems.
Yeah, he went into rehab after it, but yeah, no one knew where he was.
Anyways.
There's been lots of those problems with people in Terminator movies, like Edward, what's his name, Furlong. He looks like he's 80 years old now, and he's like 30.
Where does this show go sometimes? We're talking about...
Does it really matter?
Nick Stahl, like John Carter.
Yeah. Okay. Who cares? Oh, go on.
I love it. I'm not against it. I kind of have an out of body experience where I'm like, what is happening right now, and then I have to say something.
So this came out of nowhere. Titanfall 2 will be on PS4.
Yeah.
Did they actually say that, or are they just being?
No,
I guess that's what that means, right? But like,
well, yeah, because they were asked. I think it was an IGN interview because they're nominated for some BAFTAs or something.
Okay, hang on a second. Before we go on to that, can we just say how fucking bullshit it is that the BAFTAs named Destiny the Game of the Year?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird.
I mean, 2014 was a slim year for good games, but Jesus Christ.
They should have picked Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
I would have picked that over Destiny.
That wasn't my game of the year, but I think that would have been funny.
Forza Horizon 2 was pretty good. Better than Destiny.
What was?
Forza Horizon 2.
Yeah, that was
better
good.
than Destiny.
There were a lot of games better than Destiny.
There were, as it turns out.
But yeah, anyways, Titanfall 2. Yeah, they what's his name? Respawn. Vince
Stahl, yeah.
Yeah, he said him or some other guy. Respawn. Look at, I'm a real good newsman. Said that in terms of like regrets, that the one thing that comes to their mind is like platform. And
yeah, it was the other guy who should not be talking apparently in interviews.
Yeah, and
wait, what did he say? He said
like, my regret is that we only put it on the Xbox One.
Something like that. I mean, that's pretty reductive, I think. But yeah, something along those lines. And then Dan Pellick, at least the way the IGN article presented it,
he was like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, he's like, "Well, I mean, it was a business decision, but you know, we loved working, blah blah blah." So, but yeah, I think that to get that game made, they went to Microsoft exclusive. It was on Xbox One, 360, and PC, so it was already multi-platform before, technically.
Yeah.
But
and Zampella even said Sony was just not willing to work with them. Like they wanted to get like a Vita version of it at one point, and Sony was just like not having it. They wouldn't give them the support they need. So that guy should not bite the hand that feeds him, I think.
I think that's a no-brainer that it's coming to PS4. I don't predict that.
It puts us in a weird position though, because are you technically allowed to say, as a member of the games media, that it's coming to PS4? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that prudent? I've been thinking about this.
No, that's why I didn't really put that in the.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
50-50 on it.
No, because the game still isn't even called Titanfall 2. They said the official name is not nailed down. I mean, I called it Titanfall 2 because it is the second Titanfall game, the sequel to Titanfall. But yeah, they haven't said that. You know, it could be this weird thing. Like, what if it isn't? It's multi-platform, like it was last time. It's on PC and Xbox One. That would be. I don't think that's the case, though. I think it's very clearly coming to PS4.
I don't think that's going to happen because they make it. I'll read what they say, but they make it clear that it's something different than they had this time.
Right, exactly. So it's not going to be the same situation. So
let me see. Let me find the original interview. Okay, he says. That's the main focus, but we're starting up a second team and doing some smaller stuff now. Small exploratory, taking it slow. It'll be multi-platform.
That's a different thing, the small exploratory thing.
Yeah, and then they said the exclusivity was always a business decision rather than anything else. Then he said, if we could do it, though, it would have been prohibitive to do that. We definitely made the right choice. But if you were saying what we'd like to have done, the opportunity to be multi-platform could have made it even more significant for us. That, to me...
They were on every other platform except for Nintendo and Sony. So I think it means that they're going to have to go to...
It's pretty cut and dried there, I think.
Right. The more interesting thing from this interview, I think, is the fact that he said that a smaller, team within Respawn is now working on something smaller and a little more.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I don't want them to just be the Titanfall team, like War was just a Call of Duty team.
Yeah, so I don't think they want to be either. So I think that's cool that they started a smaller team internally. And Titanfall 2 might have a little more. They were ambiguous on a single player stuff, but they definitely said they wanted to expand the lore, whatever that means. Like what that actually looks like.
More story.
Digital series. That'll be so great.
Right. What it actually looks like is also very ambiguous. But I think kind of what they have in the works is a little more interesting than what we got with the first Titanfall. Yeah. So.
I hear people saying they want a campaign for Titanfall, and I think that would be a big mistake.
Honestly, I would be much more driven to get, even if it was just like a 4-hour thing.
Trust me, a campaign would suck in that game. I don't think it would work at all.
They might. I mean, they might.
Because the writing in the first one in the campaign multiplayer is so terrible. I think it would be a big mistake to try to.
Yeah, I would just put a bunch of maps and guns and robots. Just put a bunch of shit in it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was.
Yeah, there's ways to make it still worth $60. Like Titanfall was a really good game. Probably still not worth $60 at launch, but. Like, that was a game that was polished, really well done. But if, like, they have the engine in place, unless they want to use Source 2, which is now a thing, apparently, you know.
Oh, yeah, I use Source Engine. I keep forgetting about that. It's so fucked up.
Oh, that Titanfall uses the Source Engine? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only
kind of a weird outlier, huh?
Not made by Valve that does. It's very strange.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is kind of weird. So the Lego The Hobbit
That's makes me sad.
the game Lego The Hobbit, when it came out, uh, was the second. It came out alongside the second movie, but now Warner Bros. Is saying that Lego The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies, is never going to happen. So the story's just. It seems like something that'd be a pretty easy cash in, especially since Lego games, have always been popular. So the third film, There and Back Again, when it was still called There and Back Again, here's the quote. Additional content based on the third film, The Hobbit, There and Back Again, is planned to be available at a future release date. And this is from Game Informer. But now they're saying they have no plans to release a game to tell that part of the story, or...
Well, they said
or
that DLC. I think who wrote that Game Informer article?
Mike Futter.
He points out that that doesn't mean that it can't come to fruition in some kind of like weird ultimate collection. I don't think it will happen, but it doesn't. They just said that the DLC is not happening. Like, there won't be a DLC for. There might be a standalone game. If they really want.
No, they said they have no. What I saw is they have no plans to do anything with it.
Well, yeah, I that makes me sad.
Yeah, honestly, if you want a complete Hobbit game, go play that Hobbit game from 2003.
Yeah, you and I are on the same page on that one.
Yeah, I reviewed that one. It was interesting. I reviewed that game for CGR. At the same time I was doing that, in my English class at school, we were reading the book, and so one day I convinced my teacher to just let me bring in my GameCube and that game, and we just played it for the entire
That's
period.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was in English class with like 4 other people, so.
Oh, well, that makes.
Yeah, my whole school had 28 people in it, I think. So.
That's not a school. That's just a congregation of brainwashed children that they.
Yeah, we got daily Ritalin.
No, I'm joking. Oh God, I almost called you somebody else. Point is, I'm sad because I liked Lego The Hobbit. I actually 100% of that game. I got everything in that game, and I don't have the platinum for it.
That was after Lego Lord of the Rings, right?
Yes. Yeah, it came out in February or so last year. So it was actually even after the movie came out, but the second movie came out. But I'm so close to getting the platinum. I just haven't gone back to it because.
I only have one platinum trophy right now.
What's that?
Far Cry 4. It's a really easy platinum.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would think that'd be hard because of all the collectibles and.
But they don't make you get all of them. They make you get like a third.
Oh, a certain percentage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
It's like get 10 or so of these when there's like 50 of them in the whole game or whatever.
Oh, that's really
the only challenging thing is there's a couple things you have to do in co-op, which is a pain because the co-op servers suck. And there was one thing I did that apparently I had to do it before I completed all the outposts, so I had to reset all the outposts before I could like do it. But yeah, that was not a very hard platinum at all. So, moving on to some numbers. The NPD for February came out a few days ago, I think on Thursday, and the 3DS is back on top in terms of sales, bolstered by Majora's Mask, which was the best-selling game.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
That's crazy.
Fuck all y'all with the Call of Duties and the Titanfalls, I don't know. That's on my brain. I am so glad that it sold that well. Like that is so vindicating. You do not even know.
Really?
Yes.
No, I mean
it's a 15-year-old game.
Yeah.
It's my favorite game of all time.
I know, but it's 15 years old. It's like I'm sick of seeing remasters being the #1 selling game like every month. And
I don't know how Majora's Mask sold when it came out though. That's what I mean. Like it's this weird. It's a game where the elf boy wears masks and
okay, let's look at some of the other games that were the best-selling games.
Okay, go ahead.
After that, it was Evolve, Dying Light, Call of Duty, GTA 5, NBA 2K15, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Minecraft, The Order 1886, and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Out of all those games, like you should not get like 4 of them. Like
the majority of those games are like typical games that are on the best-selling NPD list every month. You know?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by Dragon Ball. I think it came out at a good time, probably.
Yeah.
And everything else is actually that it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's supposed to be decent.
Yeah, I kind of want to get it. I might get it.
I was thinking about it too. It's kind of MMO-y, but
yeah, you create a character and stuff.
I am a closet Dragon Ball Z fanatic.
Why? Why are you closet? Come on.
Yeah,
I was super into it, and I'm a little embarrassed by how into it I got. I
Dude,
have so many action figures.
Dude, anime's cool again. You can.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay.
you can be.
Anime's
Yeah,
cool.
you don't need to hide yourself.
Did you see that propaganda poster thing I put up?
No.
Oh,
It's
all about
it-
anime being.
Yeah, it's like a World War II poster,
Yeah,
and
I
it
see
says
that.
"Anime
Oh
sucks."
yeah.
Hey, you, stop drawing that crap.
Yeah, I did see that.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So the PS4 outsold the Xbox One last month as well, but the Xbox One also had its best-selling month yet. So even though the PS4 overtook it again, the Xbox One is still
God, that's so crazy. How is it? How are they still going?
price.
Aren't-
Yeah, it's good.
Doesn't everyone have a PS4 and an Xbox One by now?
I know. I mean, you don't have an Xbox One.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, just saying, Forza Horizon 2 is
I
really
said a
good.
PS4 or an Xbox One. Oh,
No,
God,
you said
Oh, did I?
Yeah. It's
Roll,
okay, Tristan.
roll the tape, Judd.
We'll go back through it later, and I will comment and admit that I was wrong if that's the case.
I don't know who Judd is, but he's gonna roll through the tape and figure it out for me.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, some of these just make sense. Some of them are like, God, it's so disappointing to me that Evolve sold that well. That's a
Yeah,
game that like I never count on anything to be bad, but sometimes I do count on stuff to not sell well, and Evolve's one where I think it's the antithesis of the business direction that I wish the industry was going in.
Yeah, you're talking about
That's
the DLC.
why.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so happy that
Well, and the
Majora's
fact that they
Mask
still
beat
priced
it.
it. That game should have been priced at $40 because
Yeah.
there is a significantly, like, in terms of the amount of content there, it's just not that much at all. Especially with Titanfall, at least they've added free game modes and like a lot of extra features post-launch. You know, you get them all for free.
Well, at least with Evolve, they said all future maps will be free.
Yeah.
And they just announced a few, or at least one.
Yeah.
So.
And if you waited to get Titanfall now, everything is free. The season pass is free, which is very cool.
Mhm.
Also, Titanfall is probably a better game,
Yeah.
like
Honestly,
gameplay-wise, that launched than
give
Evolve.
EA, as much as people give EA crap for like their DLC practices and stuff on some of their bigger games, some of their like Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, all the maps for that game and all the extra modes are free when they come out.
Yeah.
And that
I
game
think
is
they've-
fucking awesome. If
I
you
I don't think they've had a change of heart, but I think they definitely kind of try to get away from that path since after they've been voted the worst company in America however many times, which is fucking bullshit, by the way.
well, they weren't.
But-
Yeah, it's
They
definitely
weren't this
garbage.
year. It was Time Warner, I think.
Well, that's a little bit better, but still not. I mean, yeah, it's
They're
still a
now
little bit better.
foreclosing people's homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dumping toxic waste onto a baby dolphin. Let's get
No,
But
not
anyway,
for any
that
good reason.
company.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I understand people's gripes with EA and stuff like that.
No,
but
yeah.
they consistently put out good games better than Activision and Ubisoft, in my opinion. I think their track
Last year, I
record.
would not agree with that at all. I think they.
Maybe not
Last
Ubisoft.
year, who do you think did better? I'd say Activision did the best last year.
Oh no, Activision totally did the best. I think, but no, but I think in
I'd say
general,
EA did better than Ubisoft last year.
maybe no, yeah, maybe you're right. 2013, EA had a terrible year.
But I'm just saying, like, I think it's obnoxious how much people hate on EA. Like, I understand the business practices suck, but
It's
their
very
games are
easy.
generally pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a lot of my favorite games are EA. My favorite game is an EA game. So like,
Wait, what game what's your favorite game?
SSX3.
Well, I mean, that's a different EA. That was, you know,
Yeah, but still, you
That was-
know,
When
was
that?
2
When did that
years
come
ago.
out?
2003.
So Tristan, you were
I was 7,
7. Okay.
depending on if it was before or after October 4th. So you better give me
I
a
don't know,
present.
I couldn't tell you. I got it for Christmas.
Yeah, so I was 7 years old.
Yeah,
Big deal.
I don't know. I think in general, lately, at least last year, EA kind of got their shit together. I'll admit that. Ubisoft obviously had the
Well, the
worst
big
year
thing
in
is
history, but-
Battlefield 4, right? I mean, that's what you're thinking of when.
No,
you
I'm thinking of a lot of stuff. I'm thinking of that. I'm thinking of the shitty Madden they put out that year. Thinking of SimCity. Last year, I'm thinking of The Sims 4. Like they put out a lot of shit.
Some
Okay,
stories
yeah.
are shit, but yeah.
NHL was the worst. Was one of the worst NHL games they've apparently ever made.
Yeah, okay, I guess I haven't been paying attention to their sports releases, so yeah, that's right there.
That EA Sports UFC thing they had was apparently pretty crappy. Like, yeah, and that's a huge part of their
Yeah.
And then even I've seen numerous places say, for once, Pro Evolution Soccer is a better game than FIFA last year. So
Yeah,
they had a lot of missteps. It's just they had a couple really Dragon Age was fantastic. That was my game of the year, but and Plants vs Zombies. But I don't know. I saw a little bit of Hardline, and I'm really lukewarm on it. I played the beta, and I thought it was all right. So
yeah, I saw Giant Bomb's quick look on it.
I saw a little bit of that. I think the fact that they put Sound of the Police in there is kind of hilarious, but
dude, that story is awful. That is so bad. That is embarrassing. And dude, that's visceral. That's Dead Space people. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the A-Team too. That's like the Dead Space people.
Did you play Dead Space 3?
No, I didn't. I played 1 and 2. I guess
I'm excited though. With Amy Hennig now, there are a lot of rumors that something, maybe it's not it exactly, but something like 1313 is the project she's working on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Disney has been so good with the. Yeah, quick little just shout out to Disney for handling the Star Wars.
Shout out to that little guy Disney.
So yeah, for the little guy. You know, rooting for the underdog here.
Disney's gonna see a surge in business after Jonah Ort gave a shout out on his Gamecast.
Not Jonah.
What?
I said I can't tell whether you're being sarcastic or not.
I think they've done a great job with the Star Wars license since then.
And with Marvel and
I think it has been.
I'm a little concerned with the announcement of the spin-off movie. It comes out like 8 months after episode 7. So you know, and that's just one. That's not the one. Gary Whitta's writing one, and that's not the one.
That is the one he wrote. He's not writing it anymore. He turned in a draft and he's done, which is how those movies work. But
okay, so is that why his name's not attached to it?
It might be that they don't acknowledge screenwriters because screenwriters are pretty much shit in the movie industry. But no, it might be because he turned in a first draft. Someone else is gonna take a pen to it and stuff. That's how movies get made. Because I know how movies get made.
They still should credit him. Let me see. I'll check Wikipedia see if they have.
But yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was the one that he was writing.
I saw someone else's name attached to it.
Yeah, because someone else probably wrote it, or is now the writer after him. I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Okay, Rogue One doesn't have a page yet. I'll just see Gary Whitta's thing if he. Anyway, if you don't know who Gary Whitta is, he was the editor-in-chief of PC Gamer. And then he broke in. He's done a lot of work with Telltale. He
oversaw the story of season 1 of Walking Dead, and he wrote episode 4 or 5, one of the episodes.
He announced to have amicably parted ways with the film.
Yeah.
So he
wrote Book of Eli, which was his big screenwriting.
And then he wrote After Earth.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those situations where it probably got taken to shit.
No,
taken apart.
No, it's the other way around. Well, I'm not saying he fucked it up, but the story idea for that was Will Smith's, and he wrote the actual screenplay. He's not coming up with the story. He's writing the screenplays.
Yeah, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, which he co-wrote with Gary Whitta, based on an original story idea by Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gary Whitta.
I like Gary Whitta. That Shyamalan had a little bit of a hand in making that terrible too, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on, we were talking about this a little bit before. Star Citizen is a 100 gigabyte download.
Yeah.
For the client for an online, game. That is crazy to me.
That's insane.
This brings up the debate. Gabe and I were talking about this a little bit before the podcast started. Is can you make a game that is specifically for people with super high-end computers, and will it still sell and be big enough?
Yeah.
Especially an MMO, an online-focused game like this.
Yeah, an MMO, an online game. That's.
I mean, this will have a single-player component. I'm pretty sure.
Obviously, PC game sold, well enough, obviously, for them to make a trilogy out of it. You needed.
They also brought that to consoles. You know what I'm saying? This is
years after the fact.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think Star Citizen's thing, I mean, I guess we don't know, right? But, it seems like what they're going for is a singular experience, like a World of Warcraft, where it's just, you have it, and they just build on it. So, I'm just curious if there's enough people with super high-end computers that'll be able to run this thing.
Yeah, I mean, anything that requires an investment probably doesn't guarantee that it'll be a runaway smash success. But when you mention that, I don't know how big EVE Online is, but there's still an investment in that, right? Like, if you want to play EVE Online, you're subscribing, which is how MMOs work, but you are also sinking in time, like a lot of it.
That's the thing,
And
though.
so
EVE Online is like I think that's almost an anomaly because the people who have been playing that game have been playing it for so long that it's become a part of their life. It's like
that's what I
people
mean,
who've been playing WoW
and
for
that's
10
an
years.
anomaly. It does so. It does.
If a game like that came out now, is what I'm saying is I don't think that could happen because MMOs today can't get the traction on the market like they could back then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if that can happen again, but it's obviously not a guarantee that Star Citizen won't be successful. I'm just saying that it definitely limits its chances, I think. But that's on the other end of the spectrum. You make a free-to-play game that's 1 gigabyte download. That doesn't guarantee its success either. I don't think it really comes down to that.
No,
but
it's
I
nothing
guess
to do with size. It's just strange. And I mean, this has $70 million in crowdfunding riding on it.
yeah. So
It's
I feel like the
crazy.
people. I feel like the people that would crowdfund that game would maybe know that not that it was going to be that big, but that it was going to be an intense game.
It better be successful, like in terms of the game better deliver on what it's saying. Otherwise, this will be a big blow to Kickstarter, having so much money put into a project like that.
Yeah.
$70 million. That's like, I mean, that's a AAA game. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say nuts. It's enormous. So Keiji Inafune, who was one on for Mega Man, and now is working on the wonderful, or no, excuse me, not the wonderful 101, Mighty Number 9. He also had another game in the works called Kaio, King of Pirates, which was going to be published by Marvelous on the 3DS. That has been canceled. We didn't know too much about it outside of they had a reveal trailer, but Marvelous said that they lost $3.8 million on the game.
Wow.
Jeez.
Did you say Marvelous Entertainment?
Yeah, Marvelous.
What else have they published?
I do not know. Let me look it up.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, I had never heard of that game.
Me neither. I had no idea.
I saw an announcement about it.
It's known for its
Rune
involvement in the Harvest Moon series, which I don't know what that
Rune-
means.
It says it looks like the Rune Factory games, Muramasa, No More Heroes.
So very Japanese games is what you're saying.
Yeah. Very Japanese. What?
I mean, they're a Japanese publisher.
Yeah. I mean, Muramasa is just a character action game. That's a great
I
game.
know, but it's. I mean, the aesthetic is
It's in
incredibly
Japan,
Japanese.
yes.
Yeah. So that's pretty Japanese in my book.
Yeah.
I was just curious about what else they've done, but that kind of sucks. I had never heard of that game, but it's a Keiji Inafune game, which means it had probably something cool going for it.
Mhm.
And what was this? What studio was working on it? Was it?
Look that up.
Was that his? He doesn't have a studio, does he? Because NT Creates is working on Mighty Number 9, and that's not
Concept.
necessarily.
Concept was working on Mighty Number 9 as well, I believe.
Okay, so that is his. That is his.
Yeah.
His company. Yeah.
He did Soul Sacrifice.
Dead Rising.
Striker Gunvolt. Yeah, he did Ninja Gaiden Z.
Oh, they did do that, huh?
Oh man.
That was a game. That came out last year.
Yeah, Jim Sterling in his reviews. I'm not gonna finish it.
Did that?
What?
Worked on that? Wait, are you still talking about Inafune?
Yeah.
Yes.
He worked on Yaiba or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Concept, his studio worked on Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z. That is what. Yeah. Co-developed with Team Ninja. And, yeah.
Yikes.
So, I mean, did the reveal trailer show any gameplay or anything like that?
I remember seeing characters. I don't remember if there's gameplay, and I can't watch it right now while we're doing this. But
Right.
Yeah. So
Not much to say about that other than
no.
sucks.
Moving on. This is cool. I saw some people angry about exactly what this is going to be, but I like it. The BBC is creating a TV drama based on the making of Grand Theft Auto. So it's not the
So
Grand Theft
weird.
Auto story. It's
Wait,
it's
which
sort of like a dramatization, I guess. It's not
Is
a
it a
documentary.
documentary?
I don't think it's a documentary.
You
It
wrote
says
in
it's a,
the
it says a
uh,
one-off feature-length drama running 90 minutes. This is from Engadget.
oh, okay.
And yeah, it's
for
like
the
on the
first Grand Theft Auto for the PC?
um
For which Grand Theft Auto?
the first Grand Theft Auto was on PlayStation as well. Let me see. Um,
Yeah, the picture they use here.
he doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't say.
It's just making of the series. It
Yeah.
was creating a new
So
TV
we'll
show
see.
based on making Rockstar's best-selling game series Grand Theft Auto. So you'd imagine it maybe would take you through when the series was started, and then
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm interested.
That's really weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cool
It's
idea.
cool. It's like a lifetime drama based on the making of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
See if a man ends up on fire in this one.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was a lot of drama and development. I guess I've never heard of anything.
Well, you haven't heard anything because Rockstar is so
exactly.
So tight.
silent, which is what's kind of tantalizing about this too, is that they're getting
Yeah.
they're obviously getting some access into how Rockstar operates, which is so pretty well kept. You know, there's some pretty well kept secrets over there. So
Yeah.
I think that's cool. But it being a dramatization kind of makes me a little wary of how that information is presented. If it's going to be exaggerated or whatever. But that
Some of these
sounds.
turned out well. Have you ever watched the Pirates of Silicon Valley?
I have not watched it, but I know of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. This is something I was surprised to see. You guys have heard of the Better Business Bureau?
I have. I
Yes.
don't work for it. I don't know why I was going to say that. Never mind.
I work.
Valve
for
got
them.
an F from them.
Yeah, let me look at the story too, because I didn't read
It's
it.
on,
Oh,
it's
yeah?
on Kota- it's on Kotaku. Apparently, it's because their customer service is really bad. There were 717 complaints filed against them. 502 they failed to respond to them.
Wow.
So,
that's. I mean, is this from 2013? It says. On June 25th, 2013, BBB recognized a pattern of complaints. So yeah, I guess 2013, but
I don't think it's changed since then. I think.
right. That's still the problem. Since then, that's the pattern.
Yeah.
That's weird because they're so known for being consumer friendly and being open, having open platforms and being open in general, and their work ethic within the company is weirdly cooperative and like. So that
Yeah,
is kind of that's weird. Maybe they're just so into their own heads that they forget about some of the more specific problems that people are having. They're innovating on a large scale instead of like, oh, this person has
There's
a
so
problem
many
with their
moving
Steam
parts.
download.
There's so many moving parts in something like Steam. When people are having issues, if you're not responding, that's something that like I easily. That's one thing that always pissed me off if I emailed a company and they didn't respond back or whatever. It's like you feel like you're stuck with your dick in your hand. And,
Oh, the story of my life, let me tell you.
Classic.
I'm in the grocery store. What happened? Yeah, and it's funny. The big three publishers all got A pluses.
What do you mean the big? Oh, like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo?
No, third-party publishers.
Oh, okay. I was.
Ubisoft, EA, Activision.
Yeah, I'll check just to make sure they have the page here. So search Activision.
Maybe that's because I don't know. Maybe it's because Valve assumes its PC players know what they're doing.
They did mention this accreditation
Yeah.
thing. You can like sign up to get accredited. Excuse me. And and the other three sign up for that. Valve did not. So yeah, I just checked. Activision has an A plus. Electronic Arts.
Invisible Gamecast, the show where you watch game search things.
There's so many different ones listed as Electronic Arts. I'm not sure which one is the real one.
All the other ones are imposters. Point is, though, Valve got an F,
Yeah.
which they've never gotten an F on anything. None of their games, none of their. Like, has Valve done a bad thing? Probably.
They've not done some good things, which people.
Yeah.
You know.
They have yet to do good things in some cases. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about inaction than
Right.
yeah,
Than bad action.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I want to kind of discuss now before we transition into our talk of the review that went up this week, Mortal Kombat X on the last gen consoles got delayed, and at this point the systems have been out for about a year and a half, and the new gen versions are still on track. But how much longer do you want, if at all, for these last gen consoles to get supported?
Not at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
neither
drop
do I.
that shit.
I don't know if I expected any disparity in our opinions on this, but
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious it's held the systems back. It doesn't always help. Look at Unity. That game looks gorgeous because it's only on new gen, but it's a buggy fucking mess. But yeah, it's pretty obvious sometimes that even Shadow of Mordor, like that game, they gimped the old gen version, and it's pretty obvious that the new gen version kind of that the graphics just aren't up to par with some of the games that have only been developed for this platform or for the new platforms. So
Yeah, I think the games media and the gaming community is pretty much a huge echo chamber on this subject
yeah,
because everyone's invested already. Like I know I have coworkers, friends, all these people that are like, yeah, I haven't really had a reason to get a PS4 yet. I'm still playing. I got whatever game on my
and that's
360.
fine if they want to
What?
get whatever happens to come down. But it's when the people start complaining. But what am I supposed to do if it's not on my system? Well, don't buy a couple games and then you can buy the new system. It's like,
And it's not like this hasn't
games
been
are
a slow
expensive.
burn either. This has been a slow transition into being
Yeah.
only on new gen. So
Think of how many exclusives there were at launch for the 360 and the PS3 compared to the Xbox One and the PS4. So many of them were cross-gen games. Even I'm looking like Call of Duty 2 on 360 and like Resistance and a few other little like smaller profile games on. Or excuse me, I meant Madden on 360.
what's happening?
And Call of Duty 3, I want to say on PS3.
Yeah,
those
it
were
was
games
on other things.
that were on multiple systems.
Right.
Besides that, it was a lot of exclusives like Call of Duty 2 and Perfect Dark, and I think was Viva Pinata at launch? No, Cameo was at launch.
Yeah.
And then a couple of those on PS3 as well. And then look at the Xbox One. You had Rise,
Forza.
yeah, and you had Forza, and those were the two big AAA games. And then on PS4 you had Knack and you had Killzone. And besides that, it was like you could get Assassin's Creed, you could get Need for Speed, you could get the EA Sports game, like all these. Call of Duty, and they're all cross-platform.
I feel like last gen, especially in Microsoft's case, as soon as the new consoles came out, that old shit was dropped like instantly. Especially Microsoft.
They had an
PS2
advantage
was still
because they were the only new system out there, and
right.
and people were so ready for it. Whereas now, like they did it to themselves by waiting this long to have a culture. Like the more they waited, the more people were.
Well, and it's a law of diminishing returns. It's like the last one. It's like you can go online. There's a whole an online network that's smooth and works and it's good. And there's HD, and like now it's like there's sharing. You can let your people watch you play. It's like there's not anything that's like as revolutionary.
I'd say the integrated streaming stuff is probably the biggest draw of the new systems. That is something that I think a lot of people.
And that's so small compared to online play and HD graphics. Like it's just going to keep getting
on the original Xbox too, but
there was I know, but it wasn't Xbox like Xbox Live was with 360.
Yeah, so it's definitely not the and games. There's no game that is wowed in terms of just pure power like Gears of War did. That wasn't also a shitty game like The Order.
Yeah, most of the games now. The reason now
they're picking between being a good game or being a tech demo, and it's like I don't want to pick. Like I could have Rise and The Order, which are both not that great games, or even Killzone. Or the first Forza even, like these are not that great, or
it used to be the reason.
The first Forza on Xbox One, you know what I meant.
Right. It used to be the reason to own a console was one or two games, probably one game. Super Nintendo, you wanted Super Mario World. Genesis, you wanted Sega. I'm dying. Sonic. You know what I mean? Like
or Altered
64.
Really,
If you're an old school
early,
Genesis. Super Mario 64 made the 64. Like that's
and that
how.
game is still super good.
Of course it is.
Like,
But
that's one of the only early 3D games that has held up that well.
right now it's like a smattering of okay, good games. You know what I mean? It's not like there's what. That's just not how it works anymore because the gaming industry has grown so as it has. So I think it's a harder to make a case you need to own this console. Like I said, it's a lot of diminishing returns.
I've seen apparently the first case for it, if this Edge stuff that came out in this magazine or anything to go by, Bloodborne is apparently really solid.
Yeah, but we need something that we need something that's like a sensation, right? Like that's the thing. Is like Bloodborne might be really good, but does it have mass appeal? I don't think so.
Do we though? The consoles are selling like faster than they ever have, and there's nothing on either console that's like you need to play this game. Like
Exactly.
I don't think there is.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Right now there isn't, and
that's not how it goes
like,
anymore.
The people who would read Edge who haven't bought a PS4, I guess, is what they're talking about. But yeah, no, but no, I don't. That's the thing. I wish that we wouldn't be going in that direction anymore, because game development has gotten too expensive to put all of your eggs in one basket like they would with a Mario or a Zelda or even Halo 1 or something like that. They need to just have a good lineup.
Right.
And Bloodborne can be one piece of that pie. And I think right now, obviously with the delay of Uncharted, Sony, people with PS4s are going to have to rely on some multi-platforms for the rest of the year.
Or indies. I mean, indies are the reason. Indie games are the reason to own the consoles right now. Honestly, unless you have a PC or whatever. But like, there's a lot more good indie games than there are good AAA or even.
Yeah, like I was playing like Counter Spy and Helldivers and Ollie Ollie 2.
They're playing Ollie Ollie 2.
Yeah, I saw that. We just had the first part of that Invisible Gamer Plays go up.
Yeah, it's fun.
So yeah, I wish they just flat out cancel it like Dying Light did, and you've had these systems for long enough that you should have been able to save up a little bit of money.
Mad Max canceled theirs too.
Even if you didn't decide, if you buy games on a regular basis where something like this would bother you, even if you didn't decide that you wanted an Xbox One or a PS4 until they were already released, you should have enough by now of just not buying game here or there to pick up one of the consoles. So at this point, I don't think that the complaining is.
Yeah,
it's been enough time, I think, at this point. It's been
a
year and a half.
It sucks, but it's just like, I'm sorry, but that's just business.
Plus tax. That's like 5 games over the course of a year and a half that you didn't get, so you could get a new system. Like that's not.
Yeah, if you care that much about it at this point, you probably should own one. Like it's
exactly. So
I
think maybe it is, because like we're seeing like Watch Dogs when that released, that had the systems had only been on the market for about 7 months, and that game outsold the last gen versions. Like the PS4 was the best selling console for that game.
Right.
Xbox One, like Titanfall, sold way better on Xbox One than it did on 360. Like that's it seems like people are ready to jump on board. So I just want to.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's over. It's all over.
Okay, so I just want to talk about a game, Ori and the Blind Forest. This came out last Wednesday, and our review went up the same day. The other reviews actually went up a couple days earlier, but I wasn't in town when we got our copy. So this was a surprise to me. I expected to like it, but I didn't expect it to be this type of game or to like it this much. If you have an Xbox One or a PC or 360 and you're willing to wait a little bit, this is fantastic. I was surprised that I really enjoyed the story as well. It's a Metroidvania with a lot of focus on platforming.
I'm glad you liked it. I don't have an Xbox One, as we've touched on, so I'm planning on getting it on PC. I'm pretty certain that my PC can run it, my laptop can run it. It's beautiful, but it's not
run something that like the UbiArt engine or something. It's the same.
Yeah, it's more art style than anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
Beautiful.
They didn't tile anything, so you won't see like repeating environments and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to a couple things I didn't mention in my review just because they didn't kind of fit that well into the writing is I didn't experience a couple very quick frame rate hiccups. They were kind of random, it seemed, which was strange. But in a game like that, it was a little bit surprising that I got something like that. So if that really bugs you, maybe wait for a patch. I'm not sure.
Be aware of it, I guess.
Yeah, it didn't happen whenever it was like it would have pissed me off or something. It was a pretty minor thing. And there are I mentioned there are some very big difficulty spikes. I saw the comparison getting drawn to Dark Souls all over the place, but I mean I never got so stuck that I was getting that mad except for like 2 spots, and it wasn't an unfair difficulty so much as it was really hard, but they give you what's expected to get through it.
You just suck is the main thing.
I died 600 times.
Yeah, you need to get good. Is basically. Oh, I'd love to see a death count for Hotline Miami too.
Yeah, I died 600 times and I beat it in 8 hours. But it seems like everyone kind of beat it in around the same mark. They said 10, like the developers and the publishers said 10, but I think that's if you're trying to get like everything, because there are a lot of collectibles I missed. But if you're just going through the game at like kind of a pace to get to the end and kind of get stuff when you see it, then it's going to take you about 8. So what are you guys playing recently? I'm also playing Codename Steam, which I have lukewarm feelings on so far. I'm pretty early in it, and DMC Definitive Edition, which is amazing, like always.
Well, I just beat Hotline Miami 2. And that review is going to be up, if not tomorrow, then the day after. I don't want to go in too much, you know what I'm saying? But, I was a huge fan of the first one, and I'm feeling this next one, but for my full thoughts, review's coming. And I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike Go on my computer.
I like myself, so I don't play that game. I don't like people making fun of me.
The community is way better than it was in Source, because more people play it, so there's a lot less pretension and a lot more. I mean, to be blunt, like more people who aren't super good at it. You know what I'm saying? Because like in Counter-Strike Source, you join a game, everybody's really good. But this one, I am actually doing decent when I play it. That's really it. I don't know. There's no new games I want to play, so I'm just kind of playing multiplayer games. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing Majora's Mask 3D. Majora's Mask is my favorite game of all time. So I'm kind of circling around on an editorial idea finally for this because I have to write about it. It's like my favorite game, obviously, and I think I love it. It's my favorite game on a 3DS. But there's this weird thing. I want the polygonal 64 graphics on a big screen. Like I want that so badly, and that part of that might be because I'm playing on original 3DS. I'm not playing on an XL, which is probably a mistake.
I'm on the original as well. I'm probably gonna upgrade to the new one over the summer.
Me too. Pretty soon here, hopefully. But it's phenomenal. I fucking gave a title deed to a land deed to a hand in a toilet, and he gave me a piece of heart. I love that game so much. And what else am I playing? I'm playing Ollie Ollie 2. I'm playing Mega Man 10. Those are on Invisible Gameplays on the YouTube channel. And I'm not playing something, but I'm reading a book about playing games called Console Wars.
Yeah, I have that. I stopped reading it, but
I'm about halfway through it.
Yeah, I was where I am.
If you're not aware, it's a book by his name is Blake Harris, right? There you go,
Yeah.
Blake J. Harris. And it's about how Sega and Nintendo
about a third of the way through. Yeah.
battled it out back in the early 90s.
I got a little bit. I was enjoying it, like it's entertaining, but as I was reading some stuff online about it, like the quotes he has in there are pretty much kind of his own creation to kind of try to. So it's strange reading it. It's like it reads more like a novel than a.
Which is why it's interesting. Honestly, I mean, it would be interesting no matter what.
You can't separate the truth from the truth.
And that's what's weird too, because
it is really interesting though.
They're developing a movie for it, right?
Yeah.
But they're also
developing a documentary and a feature film, yeah.
Right. At the same time, and the book kind of does both. Like, there's some chapters that are just straight exposition that are like, this reads like, not like, it doesn't read like a Wikipedia page and that it's boring, but it reads like it's giving you the facts.
Yeah. I have Super Mario How Nintendo Conquered America, I think, in terms of Nintendo stuff, is a really good resource. This, regardless of what it's called, is a book about Sega, really.
It's definitely Sega's underdog status. It's definitely
yeah,
about that.
which
Yeah.
I appreciate because the way they frame
too.
it with Nintendo stuff is it's really really interesting and
I agree, and I love Nintendo. And I was even reading it. I wasn't even around in that time, but even reading it, my Nintendo fanboyism came through when they were talking about like from the perspective of the Sega guys. Oh, Super Mario World looks so plotting, and Sonic's so much better.
yeah, they said they really dropped the ball or something.
I'm like, God, Super Mario World's one of the best games of all time. Sonic is like
Sonic the Hedgehog, the original game is still it's not even that good.
It's fun,
really nice.
but Sonic is like it's like Super Mario World is a fine wine. Sonic is like a boxed wine. I don't know why I'm using these analogies. I don't even drink wine, but you know what I mean. It's like it's fine.
I mean,
you can get some enjoy.
Maybe you should say like a Diet Pepsi versus
Sure.
Diet Coke
Sure.
versus like Crystal Pepsi. Sure,
What
that's
about-
nice.
All I'm saying is that Super Mario World is so much better than Sonic. And reading that, I'm like, can they not say things like that, please? I understand they're Sega, but can't they respect this phenomenal game?
Because they consider them being like Nintendo was like the Standard Oil of video games back.
I know
in the day.
and I love that perspective of it. 'Cause like I said, I'm a big Nintendo fanboy. So to see my formative gaming company kind of shit on it actually is a good thing to have a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in how the book, and this is like how a novel works. I'm really interested in the Sony through line that's going through the book.
Yeah, it's really it's like that big. They're working with Philips Electronics. What's this?
That's amazing. That was an amazing thing. But I already knew about that before I read the book. But
yeah.
And but it's kind of the way it's going. They keep putting in chapters with Olafsson, who's from Sony, who's from Sony, and I feel like it's leading up to an end where it's going to be like, oh wait, neither of them won. It's Sony now, and I'm like, I don't think that's actually how it's going to end. But it's kind
only
of
lasts really. It doesn't go that far.
right. But that's how it reads to me. I'm just,
kind of. You had the like Saturn and the N64 and the PlayStation.
And the PlayStation reigns supreme, and
take a genius to figure out who won that one.
Right.
Yeah. So we will see you hopefully next week. We'll be able to talk about some more games that have come out. So Battlefield Hardline comes out this Tuesday. And, so stay tuned for that. Keep watching the Invisible Gamer Plays episodes and kicks that have been going up recently, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
I love all of you boys and girls and guys and gals and